In the year 1901, a group of Greek sponge divers got stuck in a storm near a tiny island called Antikythera. So they did what sponge divers do. They went down to wait it out. And on the sea floor, they found a shipwreck, a big one, Roman era, packed with statues, jewelry, glassware, the kind of treasure that makes archaeologists forget to breathe. But buried in that pile of loot was a lump of corroded bronze, cracked, green, barely bigger than a book. Nobody paid much attention to it. Compared to marble statues, a rusty rock is not exactly main character energy. It sat in a museum drawer for years. Then, in 1902, someone noticed something impossible. Inside the corrosion was a gear. A precise, hand-cut bronze gear. In a shipwreck from over 2,000 years ago. That should not exist. The next confirmed gear technology this complex doesn't show up again for over 1,000 years. So what was it? Turns out, this rock is now called the Antikythera Mechanism, and it's often nicknamed the world's first computer. Not because it played chess, because it calculated. Scientists eventually cracked it open with X-ray scanners, since actually opening 2,000-year-old bronze tends to end badly. Inside, they found at least 30 interlocking gears, some smaller than a coin, all cut by hand, all fitting together with a precision that modern machinists genuinely respect. Turn the hand crank, and the mechanism could track the position of the sun and moon. It could predict eclipses, years in advance. It could show the phases of the moon. It could even track the 4-year cycle of the ancient Olympic Games, so you'd know exactly when to place a bet on your favorite chariot. And here's the part that really breaks brains. It wasn't tracking a simple calendar. In 2024, researchers at the University of Glasgow used statistical modeling, the same math used to detect gravitational waves from colliding black holes, to study one of the mechanism's rings. They found it likely had 354 or 355 tiny holes spaced with a manufacturing tolerance of less than 0.03 of a millimeter. That number, 354, is the exact length of the Greek lunar year. This device wasn't just telling time, it was modeling the sky. To put that in perspective, this is roughly 1,500 years before Europe builds anything with comparable gearing. Watchmakers in the Middle Ages would have looked at this thing and had questions. So who built it? Nobody knows for sure. It's been linked to the island of Rhodes, a hub for astronomy in the ancient world, and some researchers connect it to the work of Archimedes himself or his students. The ship carrying it was likely hauling looted treasure toward Rome, possibly for a parade celebrating Julius Caesar, which means this device, quite possibly the most advanced machine on Earth at the time, was just cargo, loot, a nice bronze bonus item. Now, it wasn't perfect. A 2025 engineering study simulated the mechanism's gear teeth, which were triangular rather than the rounded shape modern gears use, and found the whole thing may have jammed after being cranked forward only a few months at a time. So somewhere in ancient Greece, there was probably one very frustrated guy constantly resetting this thing and swearing softly in ancient Greek. But even jammed, even flawed, even sitting at the bottom of the sea for 2 millennia, it still worked well enough to predict the sky. And then it vanished. The knowledge that built it didn't get passed down. No blueprints, no sequel, no Antikythera 2.0. Just silence. For over 1,000 years, until clockmakers in medieval Europe stumbled toward the same ideas from scratch, with no idea it had already been done. Which raises the real question, not how did they build this, but what else did they build that we just haven't found yet? Somewhere, at the bottom of an ocean, there might be another one. If this blew your mind, hit subscribe, because Plot Twist Studio does this every week. See you in the next one.